Shalom to the nation of Israel. First and foremost, before I get into my lesson, I want to start off by giving all praises unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders, a great millstone that teach and that rule well today. And peace and salutation also to the fellow laborers that's in the ministry and the believers that scatter worldwide in our truth and sincerity day in and day out. Once again, I'm the brother Shaquat Gabar, coming at you with another quick lesson. And right before I get into this lesson, this message or these videos goes out to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, which we are the true biblical Hebrew Israelites according to the Bible. And also to the Israelite foreigners that scattered amongst the heathen nations, and that may take on a physical appearance or look of another nation. But if your bloodline goes back to Negro, Latino, or Native American descent by the seed of your father, you are considered an Israelite as well. Shalom. So basically, I'm just going to get into a quick lesson. Okay, as you can see, I have this quotation. Okay, here on Google. Okay, as you can see, I have the AI overview. Okay, problem, reaction, and solution. Okay, one of the quotation from the the higher ups or the elites, the illuminated ones that's in power. Okay, when it comes to their agenda. Okay, when it comes to the biblical Edomites, the so-called white race. Okay, that's in power. And we know lately, okay, we had this whole fiasco. Okay, that's about to come up with the whole EBT, and SNAP programs. Okay, benefits being cut. Recipients not receiving their food stamps. Okay, when it comes to November the 1st. Okay, now you don't have people getting on social media and reacting and venting and talking about how the government is unfair. Okay, but we know when it comes to Esau Edom, okay, we know they have an agenda. Okay, as they're trying to beat the nations into submission. Okay, especially when it comes to you tribes, man. Okay, you Negro, Latino, and Native Americans, when it comes to financial situations or certain financial aids, man. Okay, because when it comes to America, because not just our people, but all these nations over here in America that depend on this government, especially when it comes to certain benefits and aid. Okay, now that they putting a heart on. Okay, and basically this can be another trial run or test run to see the citizens or the people reaction. Okay, because like I said, we know that these elites have an agenda. Okay, to cause order out of chaos, man. Okay, they want to bring chaos. Okay, they want to have the uproars of the people. Okay, to see the reaction of the people so they can bring the solution. Okay, not just only financial wise. Okay, but we know a lot of these things are staged. Okay, when it comes to possibly certain crisis as a tea attack. Okay, or a pestilence, an outbreak. Okay, certain things that's these flags that they set up. Okay, the propaganda or psyops that they set up. Okay, so they can have more and more of an upper hand as they trying to establish the NWO, man. Okay, but we know eventually all this is the will of Yahweh Shem Shai could be coming to the time of the downfall of America. Okay, financially. Okay, when it comes to this economy, it's on the verge of a decline. Eventually, the dollar is going to collapse. Okay, and we know these elites have an agenda. The issuing the RFID micro, which is in Revelation chapter 13, verse 16. It's the MOTB or the mark of the beast. Okay, which is going to replace the physical dollar. Okay, these certain events going to lead up to that. Okay, especially financial wise. Okay, and eventually this place is going to come to the point of no point of return, and all hell gonna break loose, leading into the time of Jacob's trouble. Okay, when there's gonna be real life situations. Okay, and leading to civil unrest, racial tensions, okay, race wars, civil wars, martial law, lockdowns, okay, the Third World War, World War III, okay, which that's going to lead to ultimately this place America being destroyed at the peak of the Third World War by thermonuclear missiles, also leading to the time of who the world called Christ, Yahweh Shai, second coming, okay, by the way of the chariots, what the world called UFOs, okay, and during that time, Yahweh Shai is only going to deliver the nation of Israel, starting with the elect, the 144,000 and 1/3 that's destined to be saved, okay, because 2/3, according to Zechariah chapter 13, verse 8, going to be cut off and judged due to them not repenting, okay, and not acknowledging Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, okay. But we'll see how November the 1st turn out, okay. Like I said, a lot of these things are orchestrated to see the reaction of the people and for the government to bring more strict legislations, okay, or more executive orders to put a more oppression, okay, on the citizens. Okay, so let me go ahead and read the AI overall. And it says the phrase problem, reaction, solution describes a political or social manipulation strategy or tactic where where an authority or power group creates or exploits a crisis to trigger a public emotion response. And that's what we're starting to see now. Okay, with this whole EBT and food programs being cut, food stamps. Okay, and we're in the time of still in the government shutdown, people not receiving certain aids, such as federal income when it comes to federal workers. Okay, and they blaming it on the Republicans, blaming it on the Democrats blaming it on the Republicans for the whole government shutdown and a financial halt. Okay, which both sides are staged, and they both doing the bidding of these elites when it comes to these government officials, and they play it out on these media when it comes to the news broadcasts, okay, to get people in the uproar, okay. And it says the group then offers a pre-planned solution that increases its own power or advances its agenda, knowing that the public will accept it out of fear or urgency. This process is often associated with conspiracy theories and is sometimes erroneous linked to the physiological concept of the Hegelian dialect, okay, one of the elites quotes, okay, order out of chaos, okay, or problem, reaction, solution, okay. They cause the problem, they see the reaction of the citizens, okay, and they bring the solution, okay, with a strict legislations. And it says a 3-step manipulation tactic, problem, covert, contrive, or exploit crisis is present to the public. This can be a real event that amplified by an unquestioning media or a fabricated FF scenario designed to create fear or outrage. Okay, so like I said, so a lot of things are going to be orchestrated, okay, or staged, man, especially when it comes to a man-made famine or pestilence or a tea attack, okay, uproars of the people when it comes to civil unrest, these protesting, okay, a lot of these protesters are funded, okay, you got a lot of agent provocateurs amongst them, okay, crisis actors, okay. Hey, look at these, these shootings, mass shootings. A lot of them are, FF. Okay, and I'm trying to be careful, okay, with my words. But a lot of these things are staged, man, to see the reaction of the people. Okay, we know Esau Edom is the devil and the wicked that the Bible speak of, man, the deceiver, man. Okay, and he's using his media, okay, his policies, and now the time of his technology, AI, more and more advancing. Okay, a lot of these AI videos, okay, we know the term about, or you can look it up, the deep fake. A lot of these videos or imageries that's not real, okay, they're artificial, but they make it look like real life events, okay, to see reaction of the people, okay. It says reaction, public outrage, fear, or demand for action is generated by the manufacturing problem. The emotional public reaction advances the political group's objectives by creating public support for a change that would otherwise be rejected. Okay, hey, so to see the people reaction, okay, of those certain crises. Okay, and it says solution. The controlling group offers a predetermination solution to the crisis. This solution is usually a new law or policy that restricts civil liberty, liberties. I say liberties, or centralizes power, which was the group objective all along. So problem, action, revolution. They set up certain events, okay, to see the reaction of the people, and they come with the solution. Okay, so I just wanted to get that. Hey, so Esau Edom, man, they just being more and more exposed, man. Okay, but us that's have knowing this truth, us that has been called in the faith and understand, okay, us are the hopeful elect. Okay, we know through the scriptures, okay, that we're in the time of Esau Edom exposure when it comes to the agenda, man. So the elect, okay, us the hopeful elect is not going to be caught off guard like the average American person, or when it comes to you tribes, okay, that's blinded. Okay, a lot of people are waking up to Esau Edom madness, okay, but they can't pinpoint it back to the scriptures, okay, because they don't have the spirit of Yahweh Shemel Shai dealing with them to give them the understanding of the times that we're in, okay, and how deceivableness or deceivable Esau Edom is, man, okay. But eventually, once Yahweh Shai return, hey, when it comes to Esau Edom, they're gonna be taken out of power, right along with these heathen nations, and they're gonna go into captivity up on us and Yahweh Shai. Okay, starting with Yahweh Shai, then us, the nation of Israel. Okay, they ain't gonna deceive the nations no more, man. Okay, they're gonna go into captivity, man. Okay, but let's go ahead and get into the scriptures. Cause like I say, man, we'll see what happened November the 1st, man. Okay, so a lot of things are happening at this time, man. And we know that more and more, when all hell breaking loose and people's rights or liberty is being taken away, okay, and chaos is happening. We know they want to bring more surveillance, okay, to crack down on the people. Okay, now you got all this talk about Planeteer and these data satellites or data analysts, okay, programs, okay, to keep track on people, okay, and eventually it's going to lead to that RFID micro, okay. So let me go ahead and get into the scriptures. And I want to start off with Psalms chapter 37, verse 12. And it says, the wicked plotted against the just and gnashes upon him with his teeth. And that's going to Esau Edom, known as the wicked. Okay, Malachi chapter 1, verse 4. Okay, the border of wickedness. Okay, when it comes to Esau Edom, that's in power. Okay, they're known as the wicked. Okay, and they plotting against the just, which the just represent us, the nation of Israel. Okay, as a whole. Okay, but right now the Lord is only dealing with the elect, and the 2/3 is going to be caught up into the Lord wrath when it comes to Esau Edom, bringing that sword, man. Okay, because the Lord set up Esau Edom as that sword and as a punishment to us when it comes to the tribes, man, due to our disobedience. Okay, serving these false gods, idol worship, going after heathenistic customs. Okay, our people trusting in Esau Edom. Okay, hey, but the Lord is going to deliver the elect. Okay, and the Lord set up Esau Edom, these heathen nations, to rule over us for when it comes to the curses due to us breaking the laws, statutes, and commandments. Okay, and so they know that we the Lord's chosen people, but through their pride, at this time, as they in rulership and as they have their, secret councils or the agenda of the NWO, okay, they want to furthermore to keep us oppressed or cut us off as a nation because they are our enemies, man. Okay, Psalms the 83rd chapter go into that. Okay, so when it comes to their agenda, even though they want a world domination, when it comes to these elites, start with the Edomites. Okay, but their whole agenda really is to come against the nation of Israel, man. Okay, the wicked plotted against the just and gnashes upon him with his teeth. Yeah, the teeth represent their power. Okay, as they're in the time now, they're showing their power, even though it's declining. Okay, and the scripture says, Revelation 12:12, okay, the devil is coming down with great wrath, because he know if he had but a short time left. Okay, yeah, Esau, Edom seeing the prophets raising up, prophesying the downfall of their kingdom. Okay, and prophesying against the NWO when it comes to the scriptures that the Lord's going to disappoint them. Okay, they see the chariot sightings, the so-called UFOs. Okay, yeah, the signs of heavens, the signs here on the earth that the Lord is showing when it comes to end-time prophecy and the end of Esau, Edom rulership. Okay, but through their pride, okay, they think they're going to somehow upset prophecy. Okay, and in the process, coming down with great wrath. Okay, amongst the the people, like I say, mainly the tribes, man. Okay, once again, which the Lord set up Esau, Edom to be the sword. Let's get this. And the scriptures told us that we're not ignorant to Satan's devices. Okay, but our prayer us are the hopeful elect, that the Lord have mercy upon us and deliver us, man. Okay, from the hands of Esau, Edom. Psalms chapter 17, verse 13. Arise, O Lord, Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. Okay, so Esau, Edom, it's the wicked, and he's the sword of Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai. And the only way you can be delivered if you covered through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, and that you are of the elect. Okay, because like I say, 2/3 of our people at this time that refuse to hear this word of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai by the way of the prophets, and not coming to the spirit of repenting, and not acknowledging their sins or their inheritance as Israelites or their power or the times that we're in. Okay, and the Lord gonna give them over to the sword, man. Okay, when it comes to Esau, Edom, bringing in martial law. Okay, bringing in the causing famine, pestilence. Okay, detention centers. Okay, when it comes to that RFID micro. Okay, because the ones of our people that take it, they're going to be destroyed by the way of the missiles, according to Revelation chapter 14, verse 9. That's why we get that stern warning not to take that RFID micro. Okay? So that's it on that. But Esau always had an agenda, man, to cut us off as a nation. Let me see, let's get this. This is Psalms chapter 10, verse 1. Why standest thou far off, O Lord? Why hidest thou self in the times of trouble? Hey, we come in the time of Jacob's trouble. Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 7. Okay. The wicked in his pride do prosecute the poor, and we are the poor. Okay, when it comes to the Israelites. Okay. Now you got, certain Israelites that's well off, but soon how this economy is gonna come to the point of crashing. Okay, even these higher up Negro, Latino, Native American that got success, okay, or don't sold out, okay, or put their trust in this place and they got certain riches or monetary gain, okay, all that's going to be done away with as it's going to come to a new system, okay. But when it comes to the average Negro, Latino, Native American, okay, which is deemed as the poor, okay, they always trying to keep us down as a nation, man, okay. The wicked in his pride do prosecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. Yeah, so eventually the Lord going to disappoint them, man. Okay? As they think they're going to force the NWO. Okay? That's their devices that they imagine. Okay, to rule forever. Okay? When it comes to Esau, for the wicked boasteth of his heart desired, and he blesseth the covenants whom the Lord abhorreth. The wicked, through the pride of his consciousness, will not seek after God or Yahweh Yahweh is not in his all his and it is not in all his thoughts. Yeah, so when it comes to Esau Edom, at this time he's trying to get rid of the existence of a higher power. Okay, the God of the Bible. Okay, the Lord's chosen people. Okay, he coming with his own agenda. Okay, putting himself up as God. Okay, and it says his ways are always grievous. Thy judgment are far out of his sight. Yeah, so his ways are always grievous, and we seeing that now with these draconian measures or these strict legislations that these elites has been, putting forth through different government officials, especially here in America. Okay, because Trump, he just do the bidding of these elites, and the rest of these politicians or government's official. Okay, and they are grievous to the tribes, and eventually, the average American citizen. Okay, but mainly the tribes, man. Okay, us, the Israelites. And it says, thy judgment are far out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth after them. Yeah. Okay, and so Esau Edom thinking that the Lord ain't going to take him out of power, man. Okay, through his pride, he think he's going to rule over all the nations forever, man. Okay, that he ain't going to be taken out. Okay, that no nation can come up against him, man. Okay, but Yahweh Shai is going to be the one that's going to take him out of power. He hath said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be at adversity. His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud, and under his tongue in mischief and vanity. Okay, his lies, man. He sitteth in the lurking places of the villages, or in the village represent the low land. Okay, and so who made or low or a low state. Okay, who's mainly in the low states when it comes to the hoods, the ghettos, the projects, where mainly all the reservations. Okay, mainly the tribes, man. Okay, you Negro, Latino, Native Americans. Okay, constantly oppressing us, man. Okay, he sitteth in the lurking places of the villages. Okay, and constantly, oppressing us, like I say. In the secret places doeth he murder the innocent. His eyes are privately set against the poor. Yeah, his agenda. Okay, it's constantly to oppress us. Okay, he do catch the poor when he draweth him into his net. Okay, yeah, these government funds, benefits. Okay, certain, that our people trust in. Okay, Esau set it all up. Okay, then eventually he come with more strict legislations. Okay, to attain those certain benefits. That's what we're about to witness now. And mainly now, the time that they ready to push the NWO, which all going to lead to eventually the RFID micro. Okay, and those that don't have it, they can't buy or sell without it. Okay, so he's conditioning the people. Okay, or gradualism. Okay, once again, problem, action, solution. Okay, when it comes to his agenda, he croucheth and humbleth himself, that the poor may fall by his strong ones. He saith in his heart, Yahweh hath forgotten. He hideth his face, he will never see it. Okay, so that's these elites' agenda. Okay, hey, they want this, they want that. Hey, what your boy Swab say? Okay, they will own nothing and be happy. Okay, so they different agenda. Okay, once they beat the nations or the people, people into submission, and they have no other choice, no, to revert to the government. Okay, then he come with his come with his strong ones when it comes to his agenda, his legislations. Okay, to get them to submit to the NWO. Okay, hey, but Yahweh Shemel Shah is going to disappoint him, man. Okay, and the Lord going to be the covering of the elect. Okay, because the Lord going to separate the elect from out of this place, man. Okay, and we trust in Yahweh Shemel Shah now. Okay. Let's get this and I'll probably get ready to close. Well, that's Ecclesiasticus. Ecclesiasticus chapter 12 verse 10. Never trust thy enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Okay, that's going to be telling you Negro, Latino, and Native Americans when it comes to the prophets. Okay, mainly the men of Great Millstone and the brethren on down, and those out there truly teaching. Okay, about Esau Edom and his agenda, and that they are our enemies, man. Okay, but our people want to father more trust in this place. They want to scoff and scorn against the prophets, make mockery of the prophets. Okay, yeah, but when Esau Edom start cutting off a lot of aid, okay, and causing more harm or oppression to you tribes, okay, then they're gonna want to turn to Yahweh Shema Shai. Okay, verse 11. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, that thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away. Okay? And so, because Esau, you don't always had that petrol hatred for us, man. History don't prove that, man. So how much more now? You try starting to wake up and see that. Okay? But I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna jump down to verse 17. And it says, if adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first. And though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee. And he will shake his head and clap his hands and whisper much and change his consciousness. Yeah. So when it comes to the hell that you tries of catching, that's we going through, Esau Edom is already ahead of it, man. He already orchestrated, ordained, or orchestrated, and already had it preordained, okay, to keep oppressing us, man. Like I say, this whole situation now, they're coming up with November the 1st. Okay, Esau Edom know, okay, that when it comes to the government aid, that majority of our people that trust in it, you know that our people need it to be sustained. Okay. Okay, so when it comes to, if he comes to the point of cutting the EBT, which eventually all of them gonna be cut and gonna have to be, translated to a new system. Okay, but he already know what's gonna be the reaction of you Negro, Latino, and Native Americans, and you average Americans. Okay, that facing slashes when it comes to government funds, man. Okay, so once again he know. Okay, bringing the problem, the reaction, the solution, and eventually they want to bring the NWO, man. Okay, and at the same time when people crying and suffering, okay, these elites, they shaking their head, man. Okay, as they think they're gonna forge the NWO and have total control, man. Okay, but for these elites, okay, and these heathens that's in league with Esau Edom, and eventually all gonna be disappointed when Yahweh Shai return and Yahweh Shai established the kingdom of Israel, starting with the elect, man. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and end the lesson here, and I pray that the lesson will edify. Till next time, Lord willing. Shalom to the hopeful elect. Shalom.